Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This needs to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button below this video right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. Every thumbs up is really appreciated. If you didn't know who I am Sandra, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity, and they are real life asexual stories as well. And I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Plus, I'm the author of this awesome fibromyalgia self-help handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia to Have Less Pain, More Energy, Feel Happier Like a Superhero Rock Star. And in tonight's episode, I want to talk to you about coronavirus. Yes, I know it's a difficult one. It's like, do I talk about it? Do I not talk about it? Because everyone's talking about it. But I want to talk about it's a matter of perspective. Now, just from the title, you could think, well, actually, coronavirus is really happening. How is it perspective? But that's not what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you. Oh, hi, Michaela. Lots of love to you. Nice to see you. I want to talk to you about people's perspectives that I've noticed on issues surrounding coronavirus. So obviously, I acknowledge that coronavirus is happening. The world is in quite a bit of turmoil and chaos, it would appear to me, at the moment, and there's a lot of fear and things going on. So I went to visit my parents today, my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. And my parents watch the news constantly. Like, I don't watch the news, but they do. And I was in my asexual groups today, and I've been posting the last 24 hours about, how are people feeling? Are you feeling fearful or not, basically? I like to get other people's perspectives and opinions on things. And as I was reading the different comments, it seems there's quite a divide between people thinking different opposite things. So, for example, some people can feel that people that are going and buying in bulk are hoarders or being selfish, and that people that don't buy in bulk are fine. And other people think you should be buying in bulk to prepare in case you are going to get the virus and you are contagious, because then you need to be self-isolating for usually 14 days. If you've definitely got the virus, it's usually 14 days. If you're not sure, it's usually 7. There's still debate on that. When I watch some different news programs, it seems if you've definitely got it, it's 14 days. And it seems that if you might have it, but you've not been diagnosed, that you're not sure, you haven't seen a doctor, it's a minimum of 7 days, right? So, some people are saying people are panic buying. Other people are saying people are preparing, right? And it's kind of like, that's completely contrasting, because the people that see people as Michaela, I'm not really that panicked. If I get the virus, I'll deal with it at that point. Yeah, I'm not panicked either. I wasn't, I was going along and I wasn't really buying the stuff that I needed to buy. I was just buying like stuff that I would usually buy weekly. Now I do a weekly shop, and I do a big weekly shop every week anyway. It's usually on a Monday or Tuesday, and then I shop in between. So I'm on my own. I have a shopping trolley because I don't have a car, I can't do heavy lifting. So I have a shopping trolley to aid me. Now, I have used the term panic buying that in the sense that what's happening to me, in my perspective, people have been panic buying, and that's led to other people needing to buy stuff when they see it. This is how I feel, because I was not buying in bulk, other than the items I usually buy in bulk. So I buy in bulk anyway. I always buy in bulk. Every single week, I buy like at least 3 to 4 lots of cereals. I always buy toilet rolls. I go through a lot of toilet rolls. So I usually buy 2 lots of 18 toilet rolls which is £5 from a shop. Obviously, nowadays they're just sold out like hotcakes, those type of things, you know? So this is stuff I normally do every day. I get soy milks in bulk, I get waters in bulk, crisps in bulk, snacks in bulk. It's just, I'm a bulk person. I always have been, you know, because I'm on my own. I don't want to be going out to the shops every 5 minutes. I like to have enough food in for a week if I can, but stuff like fresh fruit and vegetables, I usually need to get them twice a week at least, you know? And some snacks I don't want to get too many of. I'll buy X amount, but I don't want to get too many of them because I just eat them, right? Which is not good for the waistline. So, but I do tend to buy in bulk quite a bit, right? I don't usually get just one item that much. It's always like fish is always in bulk. Michaela, it's a really big issue for hospitals and people in the medical field. The people who need all this stuff can't get it. I'm lucky I sew my own masks or else I'd be running out. It is a really big issue for hospitals and nursing homes as well, was on the news today. So I totally agree with you, Michaela. And I agree that, you know, I'll deal with it if I get it. But I am, you know, I am stocking up more because I found that people are panic buying. Therefore, when I'm going to the supermarket, it's becoming harder and harder to get things I want. Like literally, usually I can't get them and I can't run out of certain foods because I've got so many food allergies and tolerances. There's not much I can eat. I can't eat baked beans. I can't eat pasta. I can't go and pick something off the shelf and just like be grateful for what's left over. It doesn't work like that with me. My body can't have wheat or sugar or gluten or yeast or spelt or a whole host of things. Berries it's allergic to as well. I can't have lactose, you know, there's just so many things. I can't go and just pick up some milk. I can't have any types of bread. I can't have any gluten. I just can't have loads of stuff. So it really limits me to what I can buy. So when I go into the supermarkets, they're like shelves are nearly bare and there's the stuff that's left is the more expensive stuff. Like there's no chicken breast in my local supermarket. There's big chickens, which I never cook, or there's chicken thighs, but I don't eat them. There's not actually chicken breasts at all when I've been in there. The fish that I'm getting is more expensive than the chicken. I usually get a combination of chicken and fish. So I'm getting more expensive fish because that's what's left. And, you know, so it's like I felt that other people were panic buying. Therefore, it kind of causes you to then go out and buy more because obviously you don't want to run out of stuff. Now, I always have an anxious personality anyway. I always tend to keep a certain amount of stuff in the house as much as possible, in my flat, I should say. And toilet rolls is something that I really like have to make sure I've got in all the time. Like I use at least one a day usually, if not more, as my dad would say. So I have to have a lot. So, you know, I live on my own. So at the end of the day, I don't have people around me that I can just, my friends don't live in my city. My parents don't live in my city. So if I take poorly, I really need to have as much food and stuff at home as I can possibly have to self-isolate should that happen, you know, because I don't want to go out if I'm contagious and spread it to other people. I haven't got the virus at the moment, you know, I'm all healthy. But, you know, I mean, having said that, obviously some people can be carriers for any virus, just in general, throughout the whole lifetime, you can be a carrier and never even know it. So, but as far as I know, I haven't got anything like that, you know. And so yeah, so I always buy in bulk anyway, and I always, but obviously with people buying stuff up, it's meant that like panic buying as well. I've had to spend more money in the last like 7 days, well, just over 7 days. I've spent like a double and a half times what I would usually spend to stock up on food because now I am starting to stock up because I'm thinking if you get the illness, Sandra, there's no way you wouldn't have enough food in the place to last for 14 days, not even 7 days some of the time. You just wouldn't be able to live. You'd have to go out. Can't starve to death. You know, I don't tend to eat much frozen food. So it's nearly all fresh, a lot of it, apart from, you know, like even the fish usually is fresh. I've got some tins of tuna, but predominantly, a lot of my food's fresh and stuff that I replenish every week. So I thought, well, if there isn't much left, I'm going to have to start getting more bulk of what I would usually buy, you know? And then some people think that's hoarding. But you see, if you are preparing for a viral situation and you are self-isolating, you've got no one to get your stuff for you, you're going to either have to go out when you've got the virus, which is what you don't want to do, and infect people, or you've got to have enough stuff in your home to actually live, you know, to actually eat, sleep, drink, and be a self-contained unit. And when the supermarkets talk about talk about people are panic buying, they have told me, because I live opposite supermarkets. I live opposite 2 supermarkets, diagonally opposite 2 supermarkets. Another one's 15 minutes down my road. So I'm like lucky because the supermarkets are on my doorstep. But I tend to go at night when it's quieter anyway. There's less people around, and I just work backwards because I sleep in the day and work in the night a lot of the time. So there's not much left anyway by then. And so, you know, people, the supermarket staff were telling me people are buying 10 of things. You see, so in my perspective, someone buying 10 units of lots of stuff, that's panic buying. Because to me, that's not necessary. But like 2 or 3 items, maybe even 4 is. But then things like cat food, you know, I can understand people that buy cat food. They want at least a week's lot of cat food. They don't want to be coming back if they don't live in the city to get more cat food. Do you see what I mean? Michaela, my family always buys a lot of toilet paper because we're a big family, so we already had a bunch before the panic buying started. I'd be in the hospital if I got sick. I'm not worried about food because there will be food there. The UK is only quarantining the elderly, right? Here in the US, everyone is staying at home. The streets are empty. So what's happening in the UK? There's quite a lot of stuff happening in the UK, actually. So in the UK, because of the panic buying, for example, in my local store, they said people are walking out with 10 units of stuff, loads of stuff. So to me, that's panic buying. But obviously, again, it's my perspective, because some people are self-isolating in the UK for 12 weeks. So they need 3 months worth of stuff. Now, if you think of 10 items, you know, of certain things, like, for example, toilet rolls. I mean, if they go through a pack a week, that's not even going to last 12 weeks. Do you see what I mean? So if you look at other people's situations, what might be like hoarding to you, selfish to you, bad to you, might actually be genuinely what they need to do for themselves, because we don't know their personal circumstances. So instead of like bringing hatred and resentment, we should be bringing the love. Obviously, if people are just buying because they're just buying for the heck of it with no purpose, then yeah, that's not a good thing. But we don't know the circumstances. So there was one guy on the news tonight, and he has got, I think it's leukemia. That's it. And his wife came out to talk to the camera, and he's been alive longer than he should have been, and that is because he self-contains at home, basically. So he's indoors a lot anyway, and so his wife came out to speak to the news reporter. This is on the 19th of March 2020 when I'm recording this. Just have to say this is how it is at the moment, right? It might change when you see this video if you're watching it afterwards, right? So this guy's got, I think it was leukemia. He's in his home, and his wife came out to talk to the news person. They have to keep 2 meters or 2 foot away? I'll have to double check that. Anyway, they have to keep a certain distance away from each other. That's in the UK. If you're out and about, you're supposed to keep a distance. And so the wife talked, and he said, right, what do you do? And she said, we don't have any visitors. We don't go in and out of the home. Literally, what we do is he does his shopping online basically for a whole month or whatever, and that's it. And it comes once or twice a month, I think they said they do it. And that comes to the house, and everything else they don't go out at all, because it would kill him. She said, you know, people that are not taking the virus seriously, you know, just thinking, well, if they get ill, they'll deal with it. Her perspective on it was that, well, that's not fair, basically, because if they cough or sneeze and it happens to be near my husband, obviously he's self-isolating, but if we're near my husband, it would kill him. It would just kill him like that, because with leukemia, apparently, it really attacks the immune system. So there isn't much left of an immune system. So she was basically saying it would like instantly kill him. So, you know, that's her perspective. Do you see what I mean? This is why it's very difficult in these times, because people have got different emotions. They're feeling and thinking different things. You know, some people see people as being selfish, hoarders, really bad people, and other people see as taking precautions, stocking up in case they have to self-isolate, so to not infect others, which obviously is less selfish. If you look at that point of view, if you look at people stocking up, you know, it's a fact that, all right, if I'm gonna, you know, like if I do get ill, I can be survived for 7 or 14 days, or some people even 12 weeks of isolating. I've got someone who's going to come to the next asexual meetup, which is still at the moment planned for next month. I'm not going to cancel it because I'm going to see what happens, right? And my best friend's coming down anyway. They paid for the hotel. They got an email from the hotel saying it's fine, they're virus free. the transport's still coming on, they'll come down. Probably we won't be able to go out to all the places we were, so we might just have to stay indoors a bit and watch movies in my place, or have popcorn or something like that. I don't know. But I've still got like a meet on, and one woman was going to come quite far away from Swindon, but she's got lots of health issues and wrote to me that she can't because her doctor's told her to self-isolate for 12 weeks. Now, if you've got family and friends that can go out and get food for you, or you can book on food online, you could argue, you know, you're covered. I can't get all my food online. I've got to be very, very careful if I'm eating certain fruit and things. I usually have to look at it. Obviously, if things are really dire, then I guess I'd have to buy online. But there's certain things, like I have to get things from all different supermarkets. I can't just go to one. So it becomes very difficult. Michaela, yeah, we don't know what's going on in everyone's lives. I self-isolate all the time just because my immune system is terrible and I catch everything. The treatments for cancer kill the immune system, but leukemia itself is a disease of the blood, so it's obviously going to go after white blood cells and kill the immune system. Thank you, Michaela. Yeah, so I came up against some harsh criticism in my own group. In fact, the person was very, very rude to me, and I didn't like the way he was speaking to me. So I have removed them from the group because I would not tolerate people speaking to anyone else like that in the group. So I won't tolerate them speaking to me. And it was because I bought 2 lots of toilet rolls, which are 2 packs of 9 toilet rolls, 18. And I usually, on a normal week, got nothing to do with coronavirus, buy 2 packets of 18, because there's a shop called Pound Stretcher in the UK, but it sells things at not just a pound. And at the moment, they have like these deals. You can buy these toilet rolls. There's not many sheets on the rolls, right? So, which is why it's like cheaper. And you can get like £2.99 each for like 18, or you can do £5 for 2. So I always do that. They have them in regularly, right? Obviously, at the moment they don't. They're sold out. But that's why I usually get 32 at a time. And I got 2 9s or 18, and there was like toilet rolls there, which was I think a pack of 36 that I could have got, you know. So, but I've got a disability. It requires me to go to the toilet. Often I usually go to the toilet at least once every hour. It causes me a lot of problems if I want to work for an employer, because obviously an employer doesn't want you to be spending much time in the toilet. They want you doing the work. So it causes, you know, this is one of the issues I have if I work for an employer, which is why it's essential. So I work from home as much as I can, you know, not work for someone. This is one of the problems that crops up, not just because of my fibro, but that's a huge part of it. But I already had a problem there. I had to go to hospital and have treatment over it. They can't do anything more for me. So, you know, it's just the way it is. And and this particular person was being horrible about the fact that I had 2 lots of toilet rolls, you know, and they were saying horrible stuff to me. And I thought I wouldn't put that up with them saying that to someone else. I'm not going to have them saying it to me and being in the group like that. It's just not nice. I don't mind people having different perspectives and opinions, but please, during this time, remember emotions run high, and we're not in these other people's circumstances. We do not know what's going on in their life. So we shouldn't be just assuming and presuming all the time, you know? It's like soy milk. I can only have unsweetened soy milk. I can't have, I've tried coconut milk. I can't have any normal cow's milk. Can't have goat's milk. You know, I don't even like almond milk. That hurts me tummy. It tastes disgusting and it's not good for my tummy, you know? So I have to have unsweetened soy milk. Trying to find that is really difficult. The other day, there was a load of this unsweetened soy milk, right? It wasn't too bad price. And I hadn't tried it, so I thought I'd take one home and try it. There's loads there. I'll come back. None of them were there yesterday. Completely gone. So I had to spend a lot more money out on getting more soy milks. Yeah, had I looked after myself and thought I should have got soy milks then, you know? Whereas some other people could say, "Oh, well, why are you going around buying soy milks?" Do you see what I mean? It's all a matter of perspective. But our supermarkets in the UK have limited us now. We can only, for example, my local Aldi, we can only have 4 items at a time, or a Sainsbury's is another supermarket in the UK. We can only have 3 items at a time. They can't be, they can be the same sort of item, but a different barcode. I found out yesterday. So yesterday I could get 3 bottles of 5 litres of water, mineral water, because I don't drink tap water. And then I could get 3 2-litre bottles of water. So making 21 litres in total. Right, but I usually normally buy 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 from opposite where I live. And that's just 2 litres, but I couldn't do that. So I had to spend more money going all around the houses, getting 2 different types of products to make up for the amount of litres I usually get. Or more. It's crazy, you know? And so, but this is what but to me, when someone's talking about panic buying, to me, buying 10 is panic buying. To me, that's my perspective, you see. And buying 2 sorts of toilet rolls to me isn't panic buying. If I have to isolate for 7 or 14 days, if I'm using 1 loo roll at least a day, which is quite normal for me, if not more, my dad reckons it's more than that, then my parents buy me toilet rolls sometimes. They just give it me as a gift. They buy me a whole load of 24 toilet rolls. They did that quite a lot throughout last year. It's quite a thing they do. I don't go around talking about this on the channel usually, but seeing as toilet rolls is such a big issue at the moment, I may as well. And they buy it me as a gift because they know I need it, and I go through so many. They've got used to me by now. But, sometimes even when I used to go there, it's like, oh, another toilet roll, why do you use it? But they've given up saying that because it's not nice. If someone's got toilet issues and problems and disabilities, the last thing you should be doing is having a go at them for the way they are. That's just a bit like bullying to me. Do you know what I mean? Like people have different special needs. There was someone in one of my groups and she's worried about getting her medication for her thyroid and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like my guinea pig's got diabetes. I'm going to be phoning up tomorrow to get her meds a bit early. I mean, she's nearly down to half a bottle of insulin, but I've got to get it. If they run out, she dies. So, you've got to be thinking about other things. Like I have to have kelp. So I have a thyroid problem. I have to have kelp every single day of my life. I can't run out of kelp because otherwise, I don't have hormone replacement therapy for thyroid. I have kelp, which is in place of it. It's a natural product, but I have to pay that out of my own money. It's a lot of money every single month. Every day I have to have 6 capsules, right? It's a lot of money. But I have to pay it out myself. You can't get stuff like this as natural on the NHS. It doesn't work like that. And digestive enzymes I have to have because I can't digest my food properly. They're 2 things I have to have in my life no matter what. And so, like today, my kelp came because I ordered it last Friday and I was worried. I'm like, come on, it's Friday tomorrow. It's been nearly a week. Why is it taking that long? And I got it. And I tried to order that in good time. So, you've got to be thinking ahead. So that's why I'm thinking ahead. I need to have X amount of toilet rolls in case they do run out. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like that quite a lot anyway because I have an anxious personality, which means my mindset has always been buy in advance and get a bit of extra stock in, as it were, so that you don't run out, 2 packets, that's nothing for my family. There are 8 of us in the house, laugh out loud. Yeah, there are a few things I can eat. I can't get any of my formula right now, so I'm living on rice and protein shakes. Oh, so difficult, Michaela. Well, yeah, I mean, they were having a go at me for 2 packets, but I could have just got, like yesterday, there was like much money, 36. But I worked out that the sheets were better value to get the cheaper one, but separately. It was £2.09 for 9, or it was £5.99 for 36, I think it was. But it was cheaper. I think it was 36, 24 or 36. Anyway, it ended up that the rolls that were more expensive to buy separately, that the multi-pack, the big pack seemed better value, but it wasn't because when you looked at the sheets, the big premium pack was only about 160 sheets per roll. The lower price one, which was actually more expensive when you bought more of them, they had approximately 200 sheets on. That's 40 more sheets per roll. And even this woman that came along, she's going, oh, because she heard me say it out loud because I was talking out loud because I was with this other woman like near her, and she's like, oh, yep. She goes, it really matters. Sheets matters. And I do live on my own. But, people might think, why do I go through I go through about 32 loo rolls in about a week and a half, 2 weeks max. Usually about a week and a half, they're all gone. I mean, these tend to be smaller ones. But, I get through a pack a week, usually, at least. And so I have to have them in, It's just the way it is for me, I don't, like if I think about it, I could start getting upset about it. I could start panicking. I could start worrying. I could start freaking out. Because, I consider myself as young anyway, and I've always had this problem since a lot of years ago, and I've had treatment at the hospital. There's nothing more they can do for me. So, it's really upsetting. I think, when people speak to you like that and basically would call you being selfish, basically, and stuff like that, that's what they were saying, that it's really disgusting, because we don't understand people's disabilities. I'm getting a bit upset about it now because I think it's not on. I don't like anyone's being spoken to like that because we don't know the person's disability. Some people, like I said, the woman from Swindon, she's got to self-isolate for 12 weeks. I don't know her personal circumstances. She'll have to bulk up. She'll have to be buying in bulk or get someone to do it for her. It's just the way it is. And so I think people need to stop being so judgmental in that way, and horrible. I mean, obviously, it's your right to have your own opinion and express it and perspective, but there's a certain way of expressing yourself that's not like, violating someone else's human rights of choice to decide what's right for them. This person's like, oh, I use one. She told me that I was doing it wrong. I'm using my loo rolls wrong, and she's one roll per week herself, one roll a week. And the fact so I'm doing it all wrong, and that is just like one person said in the group, like, how do you know how much toilet paper? Because she goes, oh, you really don't need that much, basically. And she's like, I only use one loo roll a week. Well, I could have said something very rude back to that, very rude, but I didn't. I just said I won't put up with rude behaviour, and I don't have to explain my toilet habits to you. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't. And if she'd read further up, I already said I had a disability that caused me to go toilet a lot. And it's difficult because I can't go on long walks in moors and stuff like that because I have to have a toilet near me all the time. My friends know this. I can't go to any places where I don't know there's a toilet nearby. I have to have a toilet nearby, which restricts certain places I can go. I can't go for example, in the UK, we have somewhere called Dartmoor, which I would go on years ago, but I can't go for a whole load of walk on Dartmoor for miles. It just doesn't work like that with me. I can't go walking. So there's a lot of guys, for example, when I'm asexual dating, there's a lot of, I'm in the dating scene. There's a lot of guys that like traveling, and one of my friends loves loads of walking. I can walk from one end of the city to the other in about 35-40 minutes. I'm a little speed merchant, but I know where the toilets are. Do you know what I mean? So if I need to go off, I can go. But but sometimes there's issues with that. I never apologize for the things you need to manage your disability. I had to teach myself not to apologize for my wheelchair being in the way. Thank you, Michaela. Yeah, I mean, it's really, I just didn't like being put in that position, because I wouldn't, I said in my group, I won't tolerate people being rude. I won't tolerate, I won't tolerate anyone being spoken to like that. It's disgusting. Any people, so, I'm the admin, but I'm just as, caring about myself as I am other people. And when people have got disabilities and special needs, I mean, one person said, oh, well, I only got one pack because I don't hoard, which is fine, but the implication is that I'm like hoarding. It's like, well, I'm not hoarding. I'm just preparing. Well, I'm actually preparing. Do you know what I mean? I'm actually getting like what I usually get, but less of it at a time. But I did, like the other day I was down to my last pack, and then I did get one pack. I was like, wow, I can get a pack. This is really good. But I didn't get any more at that time. And I'm thinking, well, and then when I went around the shops, I'm like, oh, their shelves are bare. They're really hard to get, these toilet roll signs. So the other day I just got what I was on the last pack, and then I had one, went to Tesco's and got this pack, and they were rationing the packs, right? But I could have bought more that time. There wasn't actually that many left, but I could have bought more. And I thought, no, because it is actually cheaper at my local store usually. And I thought, no, it's okay at the moment. I'll leave it because I'm already on that pack and I've got that one. But then, when I start seeing the shelves bare, I'm thinking you've got to get some, Sandra. Because if you do have to self-isolate, you're in trouble. You won't have enough loo rolls to actually last, like say you had to have a 14-day isolation. Don't forget, I've had 3 respiratory infections since the end of October. I have a weak respiratory and chest problem. My dad does it. I don't know if I've inherited it from him. He's always had chest problems. So my mum's diabetic, so she's really at a high risk. She's got problems with her kidneys as well. So I've got to be very careful. Like, I went over to my parents, my dad's birthday, but my mum's like, don't kiss me, don't hug me. You know what I mean? Even though they're my family. And then I said, well, I'm not contagious. They're like, you never know, you might be a carrier. I said, well, you could be a carrier as well, which could be true. You just don't know in that way, but at the end of the day, I think people are entitled to their own opinions and perspectives, but I think not saying it in a horrible way. Michaela, my lungs are horrible. I was just in the ER a few days ago because I stopped breathing. Oh my God. Oh, Michaela, that's horrible. Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that. I'm really sorry. I don't know if you put it on Facebook, but I been so busy working this week. I had 2 hours sleep last night. This morning, I didn't even go to sleep last night. I'm sorry if I missed that. I didn't realise. Sorry. Ew, gosh, I feel so terrible now. I didn't know that. Oh man, I'm glad you're here still. Oh, lots of love and hugs. Oh, I'm really, really, really sorry about that. I'm glad you're still here. It'd be, shocking if you weren't. I'm glad you are. Oh my gosh. Puts everything into perspective, that, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Or talking about perspectives, do you know what I mean? Seems everyone worrying about getting the virus is minimal compared to what's actually happened to you a few days ago. I'm really sorry to hear that. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it. I don't post ER visits on Facebook. It takes too much energy. I'm okay though. I just stayed on BiPAP, is that right? To ventilate me until I could breathe again. It's happened before. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know. When I'm really poorly, I tend to not be on social media as much because I need to reserve my energy. Obviously, I don't get as poorly as that. But yeah, so I know what it's like when it zaps your energy. It's best not to do that. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear. I'm glad you're still here. Thank you. Sending you lots of love and hugs. I hope you're feeling better now. And I'd love to say I hope that doesn't happen again, but I guess, it might do. But I hope if it ever does happen again that you come through it like you have done, because I would hate not to be here. It would be really sad and I'd miss you. It'd be not nice. I'd be shocked. So anyway, sending you lots of love, really lots of love. So yeah, I just wanted to do this video because I thought it's about time someone said something. I was just listening to people's different perspectives, and I was thinking, everyone's entitled to a different perspective, it's fine, but when it's at the expense of saying stuff to put someone else down and belittle them, I don't like that, Michaela, that's why the virus would be so dangerous to me. I'd be intubated for sure. Yeah, it would be really dangerous for someone like you. Really, really dangerous. Really dangerous. Be very, very bad. I mean, over in the UK, what they announced today, yesterday now, because we've gone into Friday, but Thursday, Boris Johnson, who's the Prime Minister in the UK currently, he said that he said if everyone takes the precautions, wash their hands, does everything they're supposed to do, then we could be seeing, we could be seeing the end of it within 12 weeks, basically, which is 3 months. So he said, we might be able to, get it so that it doesn't last more than 12 weeks, basically. But it was interesting because people put a different perspective on this. So he said that basically, if everyone follows the health guidelines, if everyone washes their hands and takes all the hygiene precautions and everything like that, we could basically stop it and, things go back to normal after the 12 weeks, right? So he sees it being 3 months. So he kind of phrased it as a positive that, within 3 months it could be sorted. Then the other reporter came on and said, it's going to be at least 3 months, or it's going to take 3 whole months to actually get this sorted. 3 whole months. So whereas Boris Johnson is kind of doing the angle, within 12 weeks, that's it. It could be all over, which if everyone basically does as they're told, abides by the rules they've set out, the hygiene rules, takes precaution, everything, does everything they say, then we could, within 12 weeks be over this, right? That's his version. So that's kind of gives you hope, gives you some relief. But when the other person says it the other way, which is told in a different perspective about, it's going to be at least 3, it's going to be 3 months before this is over, that's 3 whole months, because what's happening in the UK is lots of businesses are actually going into administration and bust. Loads of businesses haven't got any business, they've got no customers because the government's Boris Johnson's advising that they don't have to. This is voluntary at the moment in the UK. He hasn't imposed strict regulations on everything and rules, but he might do if people don't basically behave themselves. But basically what he was saying is, what was he saying? Oh yeah, that he advises, but it's not an obligation. He advises that people don't go out in gatherings, so don't go out in bars and pubs and clubs and all that lot, and that if you go out, you keep X amount of distance. So if you're healthy, you've not got a virus, you can go out walking at the moment, but you have to have distance between you and the other people, a certain amount of distance. So if you've got like open countryside near you or open fields, that type of thing, you can go for a walk, but you just have to keep your distance from people and not go near people. So that's a kind of situation at the moment. So, but because he's advising people to not go into restaurants, pubs, clubs, all this type of thing, but he hasn't told the businesses they have to shut down. Businesses are open, but customers aren't going there. People aren't going in there. So they're losing loads of money by paying all the staff to attend to the restaurant, by putting the lighting on, electricity, going open for business as usual, but people aren't turning out. They showed you a restaurant in London where there's no customers whatsoever on 2 floors. And the guy was saying, as the owner, he needs to really be telling people, businesses to close for this time. Schools are closing from this Friday in the UK. So theme parks have shut now at the moment. Cinemas have shut. Theme parks are supposed to be shut at the moment till the 28th of March, 2 weeks. Cinemas shut at the moment, all the cinemas. So you know what I mean? It's like different countries do different things, but London is the one that's got the most people that are dying from it and got the most cases. So they might have to take more stricter measures, which could be like in other countries where they're on lockdown. So, Michaela, in the US, all restaurants have been mandated to close. Kitchens are still open for takeout, but you can't eat inside the restaurants. See, at least they've made a decision, but the poor business owners here, they're just left with empty shops and empty businesses, empty bars, empty restaurants, empty shops. Apart from, some people are still going out. So because it was St. Patrick's Day recently, in one of the London places, people were queuing right outside the door really long, like 100 people at a time or whatever to get in because they wanted to celebrate and socialise. And with the social exclusion, you can really understand the hunger for that. You can understand that people do want to actually see human beings because it seems quite rare. It's getting rarer, to see human beings these days in person. So you can understand it, even though obviously a lot of people are, like the government's advising against it, and there's old people who say, my social, I come to clubs to socialise, to get away from isolation, to keep my mind going, to have, not be isolated because, people are not looking at the bigger thing again. And that's like, social exclusion, isolation, all this type of thing has a bad effect on your health as well. These old people say we don't like being told what to do. We're quite happy to take some precautions, but we don't want to be told we can't go to our group anymore because this is part of our life and what basically helps them to live, but isolation and loneliness is going to be really difficult. And there's this one woman who does loads of exercise. She's very active and that because she's very active, her body's in very good shape. But if more stringent, methods are more tighter methods are coming in, then if they do, then she won't be able to do the stuff she wants to do with her exercise, which will make her body slower, which could age her, make her iller and poorly. So there's a lot to this thing. It's not just a case of like, all right, we'll isolate everyone with no repercussions. There's repercussions on people's health in other ways, their mental health. One person was saying about autistic people, like I think it was these people that work with autistic children, and they were saying autistic children like routine. But if they're being taken out of specialist schools and they're at home, they're out of their routine, it can make them kind of destabilize and be very, very ill over it. So there's a lot of repercussions, with health. It's all very good and well people saying isolate as much as possible and don't go out, but there's a lot of health risks to that in terms of people's mental health, physical well-being, mind well-being. So there's other and then if they get any of these problems, it can then lower the immune system anyway and they get sick, and potentially some people could not be here anymore. So it's got a knock-on effect. And so people are, I think it's good to obviously focus on the virus in the sense that obviously we need to stop it spreading, but I think people are missing all this other concerning stuff, which concerns me greatly, you know. But there's more people that were shown in the UK. There's a lot of people now that are teaching yoga classes from, you know, and usually they would do it in a class. They're teaching it from a computer, so people can do it in the comfort of their own home, so they don't have to cancel classes. There's one guy online live stream like I do, doing exercise routines for every day for people who are, you know, can't get out their home, are isolating. So just 15-20 minutes a day, and it's for kids and grown-ups. It's fun stuff, you know. And so I expect his YouTube's going to really blow up now, you know, because he doesn't usually, I don't think he usually live streams every day. I think he usually takes more classes, or I don't think he does it every day anyway, but he's doing it every day now. So, and he was on the news, so obviously loads of people are going to be trying to find him and searching for him online to do the exercises with him, which I think is really good, you know. And some people in the UK, they are literally being really generous and creating free little packs for people, for their customers, or they're giving, like, one company's giving delivering for free goods to people's homes. Other companies are shoving up their prices. So the one company did it, so paracetamol is like 19.99, I think they said. It's over 19, like basically £20 for a box of paracetamol. It's usually like, what, 60p or maybe £1 something. And then they've managed to put it down to £6 now. So, you know, people's perspectives is that, you know, they're just profiting off people, you know. And that's what this thing is, you know. Some people will see this in business terms as an opportunity. Other people will see it as people profiting out of people's, like, you know, like panic and fear and dread, you know, which is kind of like, you know, they'll see it as a bad thing. So, you know, there's all these different perspectives that are going on in the world at the moment. And, you know, I think the best thing to do is to just try and understand, particularly where health's concerned and people, what people need and their food and drink and stuff like that. I think, you know, it's different, you know, it's individual needs. A lot of people are doing live streams for kids on Facebook. There's a local group doing princess story times, and it's really cool. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, because YouTube have got such bad restrictions around, you know, like tight restrictions around kids stuff now. You can't really do much kids stuff anymore on YouTube. It's very difficult. So that's probably why they're doing it on Facebook. But this guy, he does it. He just does classes. They're not aimed specifically at kids, but kids can join in. Like he was doing this funny like rabbit thing with his head, like this with his fingers, and jumping up and down on the spot like a rabbit. So I suppose that will appeal more to kids, but it's fun for adults as well, isn't it? But that's really, really good. You know, and obviously, you know, like some people will see this virus as really, really bad. And it's like, you know, is the world, like, you know, coming to an end maybe, or, you know, is this like, you know, they'll just see everything as bad. But some people will see this as an opportunity to learn and to grow and develop. Like, what can we put in place in the future to make sure this doesn't happen, or lower the chances of like stock running out in supermarkets? What contingencies can we put in place? Like, can we have emergency distributors or something? Or can we, you know, like, is there a way we can more easily access supplies? You know, people over here in nursing homes can't even get the staff can't even get the gel, the antibacterial, you know, like gel, the you know, the stuff they need to wash their hands. They're like down to the last bit. So nursing homes are particularly being affected, because what's happening with the supermarkets is they're saying you can only have like 3 of something for whole nursing homes, right? And obviously, if you only have 3 loaves of bread, you got a nursing home of like 30 people or more in it. Do you know what I mean? Like 2 loaves of bread, it's not going to cover it. So there's problems going on that they're not really thinking of the bigger picture. They're not considering nursing homes. So the nursing home staff are having to trawl around the different supermarkets, trying to get like 3 of this, 3 of that from different supermarkets, just to cater for the people that are in the nursing home who are vulnerable, got lots of illnesses currently, or ailments, or very weak, most likely to get the virus. You know, so the staff don't want to go out and get all this food from the supermarkets. They just want it delivered, but they're not getting their deliveries through because the supermarkets, according to the news, are refusing to give them like the full like quantity need. If they need 50 of something or 40 of something, they won't do it. They'll do 3 like they would do normal residential customers rather than business customers, you know, like elderly nursing homes, you know. And so that's causing a lot of problems, because then the staff are having to go out and source these products. They're going out mingling a lot in the public, because they have to get the food for the residents, and then obviously they're more susceptible to getting the virus and pass it on to the residents, which could kill a lot of them. There's been one nursing home, apparently. I don't know where it is in the world. I don't actually know, but I don't know if it's in the UK or another country, and they've all died pretty much. I think it's 36 of them. So it's terrible. So people aren't seeing the bigger picture, and what they've decided to do over here is for the first hour, like Sainsbury's, I think it is particularly it was definitely Sainsbury's on the news. Then they've decided for the first hour, they can let people over a certain age, the elderly or whatever, over a certain age, get food, right? But what was happening, they showed you this on the TV, is people were queuing literally miles back, the elderly people, and they're in the store and they're like huge gatherings and flooded, like hundreds of them. And so really that is just like doing what you're not supposed to do, because you're not supposed to have large gatherings, everything, but because the elderly people are not getting the foods and they kind of more vulnerable, they're letting them have an hour extra earlier, but yet they got their shopping trolleys and queuing for ages, all the way right out the door, all the way up the blimmin' car park, and then when they get in, there's hordes of them, crowds of them, because they're all piling at once, and the shelves are just being stripped bare. So in a way, I understand why they're doing it, to try and let elderly people get the foods they need, but still some of them aren't getting it anyway, because not everyone's getting up at that time of day or got transport to get there and stuff like that, and so it's creating a social gathering, which is what the government said you shouldn't be doing, because it's creating a lot of people in the store at once, a huge amount. So it's very difficult, it's difficult times. And I just think we should be pulling together and being a little bit less judgmental in certain ways, and being a bit more respectful and kind and caring. This is a time when we need to unite and be sympathetic, and empathetic. And I think for people that have disabilities and vulnerabilities anyway, like you, Michaela, I do have some with my fibromyalgia. I mean, fibromyalgia is an autoimmune condition. That's a load of immune condition. So technically speaking, I'm in one of those vulnerable places, but I just don't think about it like that. I try not to think about it. I think, well, that's true, but I just try and ignore it. We've just never seen anything like this before. People are scared. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's okay to be scared. I mean, some people, will be really fearful at the moment. They will be panicking. I've seen it. I mean, my mum's quite fearful, but I'm not really that fearful. No, I'm purposely trying not to be fearful, because I know that will make me in more pain with my fibro and make my mind really bad. I'm being calm, because, like some people are bringing to the attention that loads of people die of, traditional flu. And there's loads of people, no one takes account of that. No one's comparing coronavirus with the flu, of how many people die. You know what I mean? So they're not really showing you the other side. My mum's like, well, there's a virus for flu, and like a vaccine. Sorry, not a virus for flu. Obviously, flu is a virus. There's a vaccine for flu. I said, yeah, but it's not always been around. I can remember for years there's no vaccine for flu. People had to get over it on their own. Some people don't even take the vaccine. But I can remember for years no one did it. We all had to kind of just get over it ourselves. It was the way it was, for years, and lots of people did survive and thrive. And I think, I think there should be more stories about people surviving and thriving, not just all the stuff about the masks and people dying and really ill and stuff like that. Michaela, the death rate of flu is 0.1%. COVID-19 as a 1% death rate, big difference. The death rate of flu is 0.1%. COVID-19 has a 1% death rate. Big difference. All right. Okay, Michaela. Well, thank you. What's the source? What's your source of that, out of interest? If you got a source of it at all? Because I don't, obviously when we're talking about this, like when I'm doing a live stream, I just have to let people know to obviously check all the facts about everything, and that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical practitioner. What I say is just my opinion. It's not fact, in terms of, like I'm just giving my perspective and opinion on things a lot of the time, and saying what I heard in the news, right? We all know that news isn't necessarily the whole truth, right? So we always have to refer people on these type of videos to the National Health Organization and stuff like that. Okay, they're pretty much just all the doctors I see on the news. I don't have a specific source other than what medical professionals are saying. Yeah, you see, I've got people who are saying to me as friends that you know, that people die, there's more people die walking across the road from road accidents and stuff like that. Do you see what I mean? And so when you've got friends who are saying stuff like that, and they're saying about flu as well, then again there's no evidence, so I can't, you know, like but yeah, it's a good job you said that you it's what pretty much just all the doctors you see on the news, because it's important that we say that, because obviously, you know, I have to do a disclaimer that I'm not a medical professional. I've seen things on the news. This is my interpretation of the news. This is what I'm saying from the news. So please, 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 you know, do consult professional doctors, medical people, you know, about the coronavirus. Do look at the official authority stuff. This is just a chat about perspectives and about what I've come across since looking at the news. I tend not to watch the news. I'm only going by what medical professionals are saying. Yeah. So yeah. So, but thanks, Michaela. It's important, you know. But I've, you know, see some people have said to me, oh, some friends have said to me that more people die of flu. You see, but I don't know if that was in the beginning when coronavirus wasn't that well widespread. You know, that wasn't this week they said that. Do you know what I mean? So you know, I mean, we always have to, you know, like, and if that's medical professionals, like flu is 0.1% and COVID-19 is death rate of 1%, that's a big difference. Is that globally, do you know, or is that just in your country? I mean, obviously it'd be nice to get for us to actually get some sources, but I don't have any sources to hand. So I just have to say, like I said, this is a discussion and perspective. So, you know, like I don't know any of the facts on this. I will hold my hands up and say I don't know anything about the difference between flu rates personally. That's a global death rate. Yeah. I mean, 1% death rate is really high. It's like asexuals are 1% of the population. Do you know what I mean? So that's a lot. Thousands of people. Thousands. You know, I mean, I don't think any death's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think any death's good. I just think personally it's horrible that we're all being made to fear a lot of stuff, you know? And I worry in terms, or concerned about the fact that if it does go on for a long period of time, you know? But I mean, like Boris has said, 12 weeks we could be over it. We had 2 deaths in my state so far. Oh, we've had I think in London there's over 30 deaths been in London, I think. My mum said, again, it's my mum, you know, you need to check your facts, but I think my mum said there's been, in Devon alone, there's been 24, I think she said. But again, I don't know these facts. I haven't looked at, because I don't watch the news, you see. So if you people watch the news, I don't. I would, you know, the only time I watched the news was tonight when I saw went to my parents and I saw Boris Johnson saying we could possibly, this is a possibly, not a definite, possibly be over this in 12 months if everyone was actually taking precautions, washing their hands. But again, this could be an inspirational talk, you know? I've studied like thought leadership stuff. I've studied like leadership in general and inspirational talking. And what people are supposed to do when you're inspirational talking is give hope to people. Right? So if he's saying, well, in 12 weeks it could all be over, that could just be the inspirational hope that he's instilling in people, and also trying to reinforce the fact that if you behave yourself and do what you're told, then you will, you know, see results, right? So again, this is all perspective. It could just be that, yeah, he's totally telling the truth. We behave ourselves, we do everything right, but does everyone naturally behave themselves? No. And, you know, what is behaving yourself, you know? And for some people think, you know, they're not contagious, they can go out fine. Other people will think, no, I'm not contagious, but I still don't want to go out. I'm self-isolating anyway. Do you see what I mean? So there's all these different perspectives. 39 cases in Indiana with 2 deaths. The numbers are growing fast. I mean, I could look it up, you know. I could look up some of this because I don't know. There was stuff on the news about it. Because I've got my phone here. But I mean, all right. I think in London it was, I don't want to, you know, I think in London it was meant to be 36, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to Google it. I'm not sure if I'm Googling it properly. Hang on a minute. Let me go to Google. Google search. I've got to find a search instead of Google search. Where's my Google search? Oh, right. I've got Google search coming up. The Indiana government has a web page with all the numbers. See, I don't usually pay attention to this stuff, but obviously, as I'm doing a live stream talking about it, it's important. But this was I don't watch the news for the pure simple fact I don't like, well, one, I don't like looking at stuff that instills fear into people because I don't think it's good for the mind. And two is, I know that a lot of the media, because I've studied media, doesn't tell the whole truth. It shows realism of how the perspective is of the cameraman, the reporters, the news people, what they want you to think, And a lot of it's based on fear and scarcity and scared mindset and drama and pain, because the more emotions you feel, the more you want to keep watching. That's how it's based, sadly. So it doesn't mean to say it's not painful or that, but it's just designed to do that. I don't watch the news either. It just shows up online. I kind of have to watch it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So let's see what it says if I can get this. I can't even. I hate even typing this in. Let's see if it comes up with it. Coronavirus live 4 hours ago. The Sun, if you trust the Sun. Death toll hits 144 as list of key workers set to be released tomorrow. COVID-19 latest. So 7 hours ago, the Daily Mail reported coronavirus UK, so this is for the whole UK, death toll hits 137, youngest fatality is 47. Then 4 hours ago, the Sun was reporting death toll hits 144 as list of key workers set to be released tomorrow. So do you know what I mean? Coronavirus latest news, Boris Johnson says we can turn tide in 12 weeks. So, it's yeah, there's a lot of, so, and then you've got different cases, so it's all changing like rapidly. So this was London. This is like 9 hours ago, and this is there we go. So this here is the UK death toll from coronavirus has reached 144 after 29 people in England died in just 24 hours. NHS England said the patients were aged between 47 and 96 years old, and they all had underlying health conditions. The updated death toll comes after Northern Ireland recorded the first death of a patient who had coronavirus. The Department of Health described the patient as elderly and said they had an underlying medical condition. It goes on and on. So this is a link to the global statistics, and you can interact with the map and see what's going on in your country. Oh, yeah, sure, post the links if it'll let you. Sometimes YouTube stops links automatically, because I've tried to put links in chats before and it stopped me doing it on other people's channels. So I don't know if not, you can always put it down in the description afterwards, the comments down there. She seems to be fine in there, but sometimes it won't let it do it in chat. So yeah, United Kingdom coronavirus again. So it's constantly changing. So it's March the 20th, which we've just gone into. Last updated March the 20th, 2020 at 25 minutes past. So this was done 3 minutes ago. And it says there's 3,269 coronavirus cases in the United Kingdom, 144 deaths, and 65 people recovered from it. That's what it says on this particular site. So, you know what I mean? So again, it's like, this is worldometers.info. Again, it's like how accurate is cases closed, 209 cases which had an outcome, 144 deaths and 65 recovered and discharged. 31%. So, it's it's changing quite a lot. So that's the thing, it's like how reliable are the websites that you look at these things on, A lot of the government people say, don't just trust some news sites a lot of the time. The government sites are the ones that you genuinely should be looking at for going by facts and figures, not different websites. We have 6,000 cases in the US. Eek. Yeah, I mean, it's not good, is it? All of it's not good. Do you know what I mean? It's just not good. And I know that US is huge, isn't it? So, but I think we have to stay positive as much as possible, and I think there is a lot of fear. Like I'm glad, like, in a way, Michaela, you're like similar to me in the fact that if you get it, you'll deal with it as it comes, but take the precautions as necessary and help yourself and other people at the same time by being as like good about your health as possible. Like, you stay indoors a lot. I mean, I stay indoors quite a lot anyway because I work usually on my writing and stuff like that at home. Although I'm an extrovert, I don't go out that much, and the places I go out to usually are shut. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't go to the cinema at the moment, they're shut and stuff like that. So I mean, but I feel like I should go out a bit sometimes, walking and stuff, because otherwise my body just starts hurting. It's not good for my fibro. So I think it's really important to understand that we all come from different perspectives. No, different countries have got different things going on, haven't they, as well, and it's even the news tonight, well, yesterday now, was contrasting from, like, Boris saying we could be out of this within 12 weeks, and then but there's still the threat of a lockdown in London, particularly because that's got the most cases of and death as well, tolls. So with the lockdown, there's a very big difference between the feel when someone's talking to you, say, oh, right, within 12 weeks this could be over if we all do what we're supposed to do, to take the hygiene precautions, to, oh, but if things get out of hand or things continue the way they are and they keep growing and death keep going up, then we'll have to take stricter measures, and we might have to put London on lockdown. So I mean, it might be more than London. So you know what I mean? You've got from one contrast that this could all be over in 12 weeks to find, like, this could get worse and we've got to take this stricter measure now. Do you know what I mean? And no longer is it voluntary, it's mandatory to do this. Do you know what I mean? So you see what I mean? There's very different perspectives. One's like a more of a like relief thing, that with 12 weeks it could be over. But then obviously you've got the fact that is this going to go on for 3 months? Like, some people are isolating, they got to isolate for 3 months. That's a lot. Businesses are going to shut down. We've had 2 businesses go into administration, go bust, basically, in the last was it 72 hours? I think it was the day before yesterday. They went, something like that. So yeah, and I actually went for an interview some time ago for one of them. So yeah, and I couldn't do it because of my disability, my fibro. I couldn't do the heavy lifting. I was required to go up 3 flights of stairs with goods. Okay, I catch everything. I feel like for me, it's not an if, it's a when. I'm okay with that, though. I'm just trying to stay healthy long enough that there isn't a respiratory shortage anymore. Oh yeah, my mum was saying there's a respiratory shortage. It's really bad. Yeah, you've got to stay as healthy as possible as well. It's really, really important. Like, I try and have strength of mind, like, all the time. Like, I kind of have strength of mind that I think, well, you've got over 3 respiratory infections, Sandra, since the end of October. You can get over another problem if you get it. I hope you don't, but you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to think. But I've got to make sure that I'm looking after myself a bit better, even more. I've got to take some, like, I've been really doing a lot of work recently. I've got to take a break, really. Even though I've got a lot of work to do, I need to just chill out. Like, I had 2 hours sleep last night. And at the moment, sleep's important for recovery and recuperation. I kind of really eager to get on with my work, but I'm thinking, I think you need to just chill out with a movie, have some popcorn, Sandra, chill out, relax, recuperate, have a good night's sleep after you've watched a nice movie, and, like, chill out for a bit and then just dive back into it, even though I'm really eager to get on, because I'm thinking, you've got to put yourself first and in those respects and really look after your health, and so yeah, I hope, Michaela, for your sake and for the sake of the people that need the respirator. Sorry, I can't pronounce it very well. Respirator. I really, really hope they get more, and that that you're okay, because you're a lovely person. You're absolutely adorable. You're very kind, very considerate, very caring, very supportive. I really appreciate you a lot. It's really, really nice of you to be here. I really appreciate it. And thank you for, telling us about the figures and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. I mean, I haven't seen the link in chat, but like I said, it probably like YouTube stopped some of them. So you can welcome to put it in a comment in the description to help people, anything like that. They do though. This video will get an automatic thing come up. So anything with coronavirus on YouTube, they automatically have something by YouTube, which is to go with the health organization. I think it's a World Health Organization. It comes up. I don't know if it's a local one or the worldwide one, but it comes up always. So every time they see the keyword coronavirus, it automatically comes up. And YouTube have sent information through recently saying that they are minimal staff now. People are working like remotely, or and they're having automated system. So instead of an automated checks, because usually what happens with each video, someone checks the videos, apparently including live streams instead. In live streams as well, but they're getting a computer to do it. So some of my live streams or videos could be taken down, anyone's could, because if it violates any of the things that the robot thinks it violates, even if you haven't violated any policies, you could get it come down. So you've got to be really careful with coronavirus videos, that you're giving out as best advice as you can, but making sure people know that it's just your personal opinion, that they should always be going to the World Health Organization for actual factual based information, or going to a doctor, going to see a professional, which I'm definitely not. Michaela, I'm just interested in numbers. I like to know everything. It makes me less stressed out when I know. Oh, does it really? That's interesting, because if I start knowing about numbers like that, about death and how many cases, it's more likely to freak me out if I think about it and dwell on it too much. So I can't. Oh, it depends. If you're putting in proportion 6,000 cases in the US compared to the US population, then if you're doing it that way in your mind, then you can think, well, statistically, it's not that huge a number. But the fact is, we don't want anyone dying. Death is horrible. We don't wish that on anyone, But for my mind, I just don't want to. I just don't want to know. Stuff, and I just want to block a lot of this out. I know, I mean, I don't, I need to know about it to be cautious, to look after myself. But it's kind of like, the figures to me, watching, for example, as I have an anxious personality, if I was watching the figures every day going up, the death toll, the amount of cases, that would make me more anxious and panic and worry and stress. So I just don't do it. I just don't, now I'm not my parent. I'm going back for Mother's Day, providing I'm okay and my parents are okay. I'm going back for Mother's Day on Sunday to my mum, see my mum, my dad, and my baby girl angel guinea pig. So, but I'll be over there watching it. But they watch it all day. They're constantly watching it, apart from a few other programs. So it's constantly all the fear, like, this is happening now, that's happening now, this is happening now. And for someone who's got an anxious personality, or suffers anxiety, it's not a good thing personally for me to do. Obviously everyone's anxiety is different though. Some people work differently with their anxiety. For example, if I'm going to meet someone, I like to know well in advance when I'm going to meet them, what time, so I'm not so spontaneous like that. I'm a planner. I'm not someone who just like popping out. But one of my female best friends, she's a lot more spontaneous than me. So I've learned to be more spontaneous than I used to be. But I'm a planner. I like to have things just in case. And with the death toll and stuff like that, if I was watching that every day, it would just make me feel more down and stuff. So personally for me, it doesn't work, stuff like that. The Pope asked everyone to pray for the end of COVID-19 earlier today. So I participated in that earlier. I'm just praying all the time. Yeah, I mean, I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything, good or bad. So I believe there's a reason, a reason for this. I mean, obviously we weren't prepared for it as a world. Do you know what I mean? So something's got to be looked at in there. I mean, obviously it shows how vulnerable we are. Michaela, yeah, that's how I feel. I need to have things planned out. I need to be prepared. When I have the numbers, I feel prepared. Oh, right. When you have the numbers, you feel prepared. Ah, right. I mean, I feel prepared when I've got like things like food in the house. Like I've got like I hadn't got any tins of fruit. I usually buy them all fresh, but I thought I've got to get some tins of fruit because if I have to self-isolate, I've got no fruit, that'll be bad because I I'm allergic to sugar, but I need natural sugar because I get low blood sugar. So, so fine balance that. So yesterday I purposely bought some tins of fruit and I had to buy 3 of one and 3 of a different type of brand, which was more expensive because you're only allowed 3s. I agree that everything happens for a reason. Thanks, Michaela. Yeah, so with me with numbers, I don't want to know that. I don't, I want to block out as much as possible about within reason. There's a certain amount of stuff I need to know for my own health and safety to do the virus, but for me personally, looking at the numbers is just going to put scared mind in me. It's just going to be like, oh my goodness, it's getting bigger, it's getting worse, blah blah blah. That's how my mind personally works, and so I'm like, no, I don't want to look at it. Like, I'm just gonna I wouldn't even have known that. I just don't pay any attention to the news very much. I mean, obviously it comes up in my feed. The coronavirus is huge at the moment, so I am paying some attention to it. I mean, I've done videos about it to help other people, so I'm not like ignoring it. But I say I'm not ignoring it, but I'm blocking out a lot of it out because I've learned over the years with my fibre, I need to block a lot of this stuff out. A lot of it is very negative. I mean, it's very painful, very fearful, scared, all that type of thing. And I don't want any of that in my life. So I have to build a little cocoon in my own home and nourish my inner child, nourish my soul, bring joy and happiness into my life, start smiling, concentrate and focus on I mean, for me, this is really good personally. If I'm looking at a positive thing about staying in, not about, obviously there's no positives to other people not being here in life anymore. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on about that. I'm on about what can I take in terms of a positive thing about me having to stay indoors and not going out as much. And that is, I do have a lot of work to catch up on because I have had 3 respiratory infections. It has put me back in terms of work, and I've got a lot of work projects that I need to finish. And I've got tight kind of deadlines for them. I need to get them done. And really, the more I'm indoors, the more I can do them theoretically. But then I become unproductive after a certain amount of time. If all I'm doing is working and not playing, it's not good for me. So I need to make sure I'm looking at what films and stuff. But every 3 days, really, I need to be going out. It just drives me nuts else. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm an extrovert, and not just that, my body starts hurting. It physically starts hurting. My hips start hurting. My legs start hurting me. My legs feel like they need stretching because I do stretches on my legs, and sometimes it's just my legs just start in bed. It's oh, you need to stretch them. Do you know what I mean? And when you go out walking, even the physio told me I really need to do walking. Doctors told me as well that walking's good. And obviously they said my dancing, when I go out dancing, is very, very good for me. Obviously, I haven't been out doing that for a while. So I do take on board some of it as much, certain things, but there's a lot of stuff I watched on the news tonight that I didn't even know. For me, I'm more about doing the holistic side of preventing coronavirus as much as possible, which is to do with keeping the immune system as healthy and happy as possible, keeping the body, mind, and soul. That's where I excel in. I excel in holistic preventative techniques that can help possibly prevent coronavirus, or less likely to get it, or if you do get it, more likely to be able to cope with it mentally and emotionally and stuff like that. That's why my forte lies. It lies in the internal being of the person and not being influenced by the external so much, so that's where I come from. I use a lot of products to keep my immune system, and foods I eat and stuff like that just keeps my immune system. A lot of it's mental stuff, a lot of it's mindset. That's why I purposely don't watch the news. It's designed to instill fear into you, and usually I don't watch it, so I'm minimizing as much as possible. But I knew when I went to my parents I'd be looking at it all day, so it's whatever I've missed I can catch up on, you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff. It's constant stuff. So it's kind of I knew when I go over there I'd have a dose of news fear. Michaela, exactly. My family's taken a lot of homeopathics and supplements for the immune system right now. It's really good. I actually thought about doing a book, but loads of people have done books already on coronavirus, but I would be doing it more of a holistic on the things I use, the foods I eat. I mean, some of it, to be honest, is in the fibre book. But because people see fibromyalgia, if they haven't got fibromyalgia, some people are like, oh, that's not for me, this book. But believe me, a lot of what I do is actually in this book. To help myself to prevent getting coronavirus, a lot of it is in this book. I mean, I really just wish people would just go and buy the book because it would help them so much. But, not everyone who looks at this book, they think, oh, well, yeah, I haven't got fibromyalgia, I don't want that, don't need it, it's not for me. But actually, a lot of the techniques I use in this are just transferable into other areas of your life with any chronic pain or any time you need to boost your immune system. I thought about writing the book. I even writ it all out, what I'd like to put in the book. So I might actually do, but at the moment I've got far too much to do and other things. I don't want to, divert too much. And loads of people have written books about it, but a lot of them apparently have just gone on with different websites and got stuff off the internet and stuck a price on the book, and not, they're just doing it for profit. I wouldn't, if I wrote a book, it would be because I really want to help people. There's one thing I have, literally, it's actually written in this book, that literally helps boost the immune system, helps to fight this type, to fight getting these type of illnesses. So, but it's very expensive as a natural product. It is really expensive. But it works. I haven't bought as much as I should, which is why I get more ill these days, because I'm not buying enough of it. Which is probably, like the last respiratory infection, made sure I got this thing, and literally, I got better off it. Well, I usually have to have 2 bottles of the stuff, right? But, for 3 years, I took it all the time, and I didn't have a day off sick for 3 years, and I got a fibro, when I worked. And so really people should be taking this type of thing to boost their immune system up and help to protect them. I'm not saying it's going to stop them definitely getting it, but it will certainly help in the fight and protection, but so I don't know, I might still do the book, because I wrote loads of stuff out. I want to include the mindset. A lot of my friends, I did some videos, a lot of my friends have got anxious, anxiety and stuff like that, and I use a lot of mindset techniques, and one of them is not looking at the news, trying to avoid looking at it as much as possible, because literally usually most people who've got anxiety just makes their mind worse. And it's best to, if you're staying at home, to literally focus on your hobbies, your interests, your projects, things that make you joyful, come alive. This is all helps to keep your immune system, because stress, anxiety, depression, any negative stuff, any negative emotions literally just shoves your immune system down. So I've learned over the years that I have to protect myself. I have to be joy. Even if people are miserable around me, I have to be joyous and happy. My health and life depends on it, and so do other people's a lot, but they don't realise it. I love to write books someday, but I just don't have the mental energy to do it right now. I used to write some, but not much anymore. Oh, bless you. Well, writing's my life purpose. I found out in 2009, after I was redundant was that first time or second time? I've been redundant 3 times in my life now. I think it was the first time, 2009. And that's when I discovered 100% I was born to write, and write books that change people's lives. I mean, these books take me a year to write, pretty much. Well, this book took me a year to write. This one I started before I left my old job, when I was made redundant in 2017, but I didn't get published till last year. But I didn't carry on writing it, so this took me a best part of a year, I think, as well. My Asexual Guide to Sex, I'm still working on at the moment. I want to get out for June, because I've got people waiting for it. But I don't know if I should do a book. It probably wouldn't be a very long book about the coronavirus stuff, because I think my friends would be helped. Because I was helping a friend yesterday. It's yesterday now, Thursday, and I was helping them by private message, just with their minds. This person was scared. They came to me and said, I'm really worried. And they're older than me in birth certificate age quite a bit, and I had to help them get their mind back on track and tell them what to do, for the best, for them, because they need it. They're like, oh, I needed that, thank you. Some people just need advice and direction and guidance, because they don't know what to do in these troubled times, because fear gets to a lot of people. I'm quite calm because I've trained myself since 2012 with my fibro to be calm. I've trained myself to not get scared and get fearful and worried and frightened, because that just makes my immune system lower. My protection is my health, my happiness, my joy, cutting the news off, blocking out negative stuff, just having fun with my life, and it works. And more people should be doing it. I would want to write fiction books that would give more disability representation. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. Yeah, I'm not into writing fiction. I do write fiction occasionally. Well, I have got 2 books I've written in fiction, but they're for children, for 3 to 5-year-olds, picture books. That's what I like to write. And I did start a novel years ago, but I stopped. It was too much for me. I decided fiction writing's not for me unless I write kids books, because the main character's going through turmoil and I really feel my character's pain. So if my character is going through real bad, horrid stuff, I can feel it in my body. I can cry and everything, because I'm very good at acting. So I should go into acting school. So I can put myself in the position of that person, in that character, as if I'm going through the stuff. And you can imagine, if you're writing really horrendous stuff happening to them, that it's very painful. So I decided it wasn't for me, because obviously I was suffering depression years ago, and it's just making it worse, making me feel really bad. So I left it. I still know the character, I still know the plot. I love fiction. Fantasy is my favorite. Oh, that's really good. I don't read fiction, but a lot of asexuals do, Michaela. A lot of asexuals like fiction, but I don't really like fiction apart from kids' books. I've still got kids' picture books, like Mr. Men books, Little Miss books. I like them. And I did a children's writing course that I never actually finished. I started that in 2008. Still got all the stuff up there for it. 14 units. I only did first 4, I think it is. It's a long distance one, so I could start doing it whenever I wanted, because the company's still going. But in the children's writing for children's, you have to do 3 to 5, 5 to 7 years old, 7 to 9, and then 9 to teenager, I think it is. You have I think about 5 categories, something like that. But I just really rather do the younger 3 to 5. Written 2 picture books so far, but I haven't had them published. And if I want to self-publish, the illustrations are going to cost nearly £400, at least 360 last time I looked into it. So, but yeah, I do know loads of people, asexuals particularly, love fiction. I like non-fiction because I can actually change people's lives through it. I mean, literally, people message me saying that Asexual Perspectives, for example, and the Fibro book, that they change people's lives. Well, my best friends, they literally went on a plane for the first time after 20 years after reading my Fibro book. That's how come their mindset changed when they read the book. And my best friend and my other best friend, they both quote my own words back to me out of this book. It's nice. It's funny, but it's nice. So Sandra, what did you write in your book? I'm like, thank you for reminding me. So it's funny, and they quote it for their life situations as well. So I know the stuff works, But yeah, I love non-fiction. That's my thing. But I didn't know that years ago, And everyone has their own ways. I know a lot of asexuals do love fiction. So if you did, do fiction, I'm sure a lot of asexuals would love to read it. I mean, was a guy that watches this channel a lot. Hello, if you're watching. And suggested me writing a novel for asexuals, but I'm like, no, because I write non-fiction's my forte. I don't like reading fiction. I'm very slow at reading, is part of the reason for that. Whenever I write my books, I always write them in short chapters so that they're very easy to read and take in. And I do that for the reader, but for myself, because I don't like reading really. I like, writing, right? But I purposely do it so that I don't have to read really long stuff. Like with fiction books, I used to start reading a fiction book, and then I used to end up rereading the same thing over and over again. So I felt like I got nowhere. I was so slow, and I don't find it as interesting. A lot of the way non-fiction books are written anyway is in shorter chapters. So you read a chapter and you learn something. Read a chapter, and sometimes I have to keep rereading it over and over again. Like I got a new book recently that I started reading, and then it's very difficult to take the information in, but I do learn, I do learn stuff. There's a really cool science fiction book about an asexual princess. It's called Reluctant Princess. It's really cool. I loved seeing someone like me in a book. Oh, that's nice. That's really sweet. Oh, really? So like you, are you a reluctant princess, are you, Michaela? That sounds really nice. Sounds like a Mr. Men book, actually. I love Mr. Men books. I got a whole load of them over there. So I never get fed up with Mr. Men books. Oh, love Mr. Men books, although I haven't read any for a while. It used to be really good if I had my tummy was hurting. I used to read a Mr. Men book and feel better after it, or a Little Miss book. So I love stuff like that. It's really good. But I think it's really good, to put energy and time, effort, what you want. Obviously, if you've got, lack of energy. I know that you can get things like Dragon software, dictaphone, so you can speak into the dictaphone. And there's some software I think that will literally write your story for you when you. Well, that's what the Dragon software I think does. You use a dictaphone and it can write it out, but obviously you've got the spelling errors then, because like there's certain software that you can speak into that will write books for you as you speak. But I even think there might be something on Google, but you still get spelling errors and punctuation errors and grammar errors because the robot it's like basically robotic software can't always interpret it properly. Laugh out loud. No, I'm not reluctant. I'm definitely a princess though. And I'm definitely a princess through and through. Oh, bless you. I love you for that. Well, I've got a dress that I don't wear very often, which I did wear to my best friend's, who's older than me, I have to say, in birth certificate age, best friend's 50th wedding last year. Wedding? No, 50th birthday, sorry. You can tell it's been a long day. I've had just 2 hours sleep because I start talking rubbish or talking goo gaga or mixing up what I'm saying. No, she had her 50th birthday last year in 2019. She is much older than me in birth certificate age, but she looks young, really young, a lot of the time. So we get on so well, and she's lovely. She sent me my birthday gifts for next month, April, through the post. 3 of them. Must have cost her loads of money to make sure I get them, because she's not leaving she's not leaving where she lives because of the coronavirus. So I got this big, I'll show you actually. I've got 2 others, but this one came through the post today. I mean, look at this, the size of this. It's like, wow, it's huge. I'm not allowed to open it till my birthday though, because it's the 24th of April, my birthday. And I've got 2 other ones. I got a black package, but it's in my wardrobe, which I can't look at the moment because this is in my wardrobe. So I'd have to close you down if I did that. But yeah, I got a like black one, and another parcel. So yeah, 3 parcels. I feel like a queen, I said to her, with all these. So she said, yeah, she's taken a lot of time to get special stuff for me. So I'm like, wow, that's really nice. So yeah, and I like Disney, and I sometimes say I like being like a Disney princess. And I got this dress I was saying about, which I wore to her birthday. And yeah, it's a blue like satin dress with like beads on it, and I look really nice in it. I call that my princess dress. And I've got my dad bought me a Frozen crown. So when I went to Disneyland Paris in 2017 for my 21st mindset birthday, there's video footage on here, I wore that. So yeah, I love being like a princess as well. I think, don't worry, I'll just be a princess and the prince. I don't need a prince, because obviously it'd be great to have a prince, an Indian prince, kiss me madly, because I'm so into kissing. But yeah, I just think, I'll just be the princess. I'll hire my own castle, my carriage. But people say that you can't have, the fairy tales in books. I'm thinking, but you can make fiction come true, even with the fairy tales, because all you have to do is, like, if you get someone who's as like crazy as me, so like I like to be like a Disney princess sometimes and wear like dresses. It's not an official princess dress, I just call it that because it kind of like is satin and bushes out, and I just look pretty in it, I think, and it's nice. And so and I do like princess dresses as well, like if you see in Disney. And I just think, well, if I get a guy who likes thinking like he's a prince, but in a nice way, not in his I'm so great way, nice prince. And you can hire a horse and carriages, you can hire a castle for a day, or you can even, if you had enough money, buy one. Do you know what I'm saying? You can do all this. You can hire horses and carriages, you can hire a castle for the day, you can be in beautiful Disney clothes. You can actually make this stuff happen in real life. So when people are saying, oh, well, it's just a fantasy, it's not reality, I'm thinking, well, that's not true. And I'm a hyper romantic, right? I'm a real romantic. Like, seriously, there must be another guy like me in the world. I don't believe there's not. Do you know what I mean? Michaela, I love feeling like a princess. I'm super girly. I have this gold crown with green gems on it that I wore for St. Patrick's Day. I love my Irish heritage. Oh, bless you. Well, I'm actually not super girly. So it's really weird. With me, I'm like 2 people. Well, I'm like a kid. I've got a kid side, which is like I'm a Disney princess girl when I'm like my kid side. And then I have this more guy business side to me. So I have like 2 completely different sides to my personality, which is the same person. So I kind of don't have a really motherly type of thing. I'm not really into being motherly, but I do have a natural instinct to protect people and care about them and be genuine and honest. But I'm kind of like a guy, business guy, and a princess girl. But I'm not actually girly. I don't paint my nails. I get on better overall with guys than women, because women, like they paint their nails and they're like catty and bitchy, and I don't like that type of thing. And I don't, like having a woman's night in is not really my thing. If it was just me and my best friend, like female friend, me and her together, that's great. But me being in group is not so good as me being on my own with her. And so, like, and when I watch films, I'm not into. Although I'm a romantic person, I'm not into romantic films. I'm not into ones that are romance genre, but I'm into films like street dance movies that have got romantic theme in them or romantic storyline. I'm a cosplayer, and that's the whole point of cosplay. We make fiction come to life. Oh, cool. I've never really gone into cosplay and stuff like that. It's like really weird though, because I don't like dressing up for sexual pleasure. I absolutely hate that, and it makes me feel sick. So I don't know if you've watched any of my previous videos, that my ex bought me a Santa outfit so he could have sex with me in it. And it was disgusting for me. And it made me want to vomit and throw up. Like I did have sex with him in it, but I hated it. I don't mind wearing the costume because I looked pretty in it, but I didn't want to do that because he bought it specifically so he could enjoy the sex with me in it. I don't like any of this doctors and nurses stuff, any role play to do with sex. I'm totally against that. Personally, for me, I know loads of people like it, which I think why cosplay, for me, I've kind of like backed away from it and thought it reminds me a bit of that type of thing, which I know is not necessarily true. I know there's a lot of asexuals that do that type of thing. But for me, I kind of like, I get a feeling when I look at that, it's too much acting characters out, if you know what I mean. And I feel like I'm not being myself. But cosplay isn't about sex at all. It's just dressing up as your favorite characters and having fun with friends. Oh, cool. See, I don't dress up, like do fancy dress usually. Like if people are doing fancy dress, like going out to nightclubs doing fancy dress, I don't usually do that. So I'm kind of weird. Because although I said I'm like a Disney princess, it's just that particular thing. I have a dress. It's not actually a Disney princess dress. I just say it's like my princess dress because I feel like a princess in it, and with the materials and the beading and stuff. But I don't actually do any fancy dress. Like I don't participate in fancy dress. Like I have done Halloween stuff, but I didn't do that till later on in my life. And my housemate was like, "Oh, do you want to come to our Halloween party?" And my best female friend. So I put some makeup on and a hat, but I didn't even used to celebrate Halloween or anything like that. So I didn't used to dress up at all. Apart, I haven't actually I've got a Frozen crown that my dad bought me, but I haven't actually got any official clothing dressing up, and I don't do fancy dress. Like I'm not really into fancy dress. So I think cosplay would be like fancy dress, isn't it? Like official stuff. I have obviously well, it's not obvious you didn't know. I have participated in the audience of Deal or No Deal, which was a show that used to be on the UK, and I did hire a witch's costume for the day because it was a Halloween event, so you're supposed to dress up as a witch's costume. And I obviously am my own superhero, like because I'm Ace Fiber Girl, which I do have an actual costume, so I'm an actual superhero. Like obviously I'm her. That's my alter ego, Ace Fiber Girl, but that's like real. That's who I am. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen that. You've probably seen that on my Facebook, on my Ace Fiber Girl page. But yeah, so that costume really suits me. I got it all put together myself. Like someone saw that, I'm like, huh? Because it honestly, the outfit just looks like it's made for me, and I made it up myself out of different bits. And I actually did some sticky stuff. Like I'm not good at doing. I don't do DIY usually. I don't usually make stuff up. I don't usually do crochet and knitting. All that type of thing is not me. That's too female for me, right? I say that's very stereotypical, Sandra. But it's like kind of stereotypical of what women would do. But I do know some guys that are into knitting and stuff like that. I've seen and stuff. But I'm not really into needlework or patchwork or any type of material stuff. But So I'm not into any of that really, but I do like, so with my Ace Fiber Girl, I actually got some glue and glued a wooden star onto the bit that goes over my head. So most superheroes, they either have glasses, they have glasses that, like, they have the things that go over it's called a mask, isn't it? Sorry. They have the mask that goes over the eyes, or they have the headpiece. I've got both, which is very unusual. Superheroes usually have one or the other, not both. So I personally want to do that. But there's a star on there. You see that star? I stuck that on myself. I had to watch a YouTube video to learn how to do that, like how to keep it stuck on. So I had to use certain type of glue, get the wooden thing to stick, and I had to clamp it. But I haven't got a proper clamp here. So I think I found a clamp, an old rusty one. It wasn't a clamp, it was a tool. My dad had given me, like a springy thing. And I'm like, oh, this will do. But it's rusty, so I had to put like cloth between it without cloth sticking to the glue. Oh, I had so much quite fun. I'm like, wow, it's an achievement. I've actually glued something together. Something I don't usually do. I don't deal with materials, don't like cooking, don't like cleaning, and I like any of the girly housewife stuffy stuff. Michaela, you're not weird. Everyone likes different things, and not all cosplay is fancy. It's whatever you want it to be. Some are really crazy, and others are simple. It's something that doesn't really appeal to me, but I don't know if just because I feel a bit, I just feel a bit weird about it. I feel like it's not suitable for me. I feel like it's not me being not my true authentic self, I guess. That's how I feel. So I think that's what it's to do with. But who knows? People change, don't they? You know what I mean? That's how I am at the moment. I think it's good for other people. I think there's a lot of people that do it. A lot of asexuals do it. Oh, there's an asexual that I found in a sexual dating group, actually. He's into cosplay, but he's on a much more sexual end of the spectrum, much more. He's into BDSM, even though he's asexual. It's okay. Cosplay isn't for everyone, no shame. Oh, thank you for understanding. Yeah, I just feel weird about it. I feel it's not me and I shouldn't do it. It doesn't feel right, if you know what I mean. But like being Ace Fiber Girl feels really good, like, because it's who I am. I've been Ace Fiber Girl for years, but until I brought the book out, people didn't know. Not even my parents knew about that. And it was something that was I did in my head more than actually got a costume. But I love my costume, and I like. It was lovely when I was in my more summer months, and I went through the city centre, and kids were going, "Hey, there's a superhero! Oh, look, mummy!" And I thought it was so good, and people were smiling. I was bringing joy to their faces, and it's like, it's too cold to wear the costume now, but and I don't have another costume. I only have the one, and so yeah, it's just like, wow, I mean, obviously, I don't know if you know, but the theme is be the superhero of your own life and save yourself from pain. That's the whole motto of the book, and this gives you the techniques how to do it. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Lots of love. So yeah, like, I do like being, well, Ace Fiber Girl is who I am. It's no doubt about it, so it is authentic me. And like I said, I years ago, I didn't really used to wear skirts very often. I used to wear trousers, but when I go out clubbing, I wear skirts. Now summer, I wear skirts. So that's been a different switch for me. And like sometimes I wear more dresses than I used to. But I'm not a flowery dressy person usually. I bought a blouse last year in the January sale that has got roses on it. It's got embroidered roses. So that's different for me, but it's only like some, like at the top's got it on, I think, and the sleeves top, but it looked nice. But the problem is it needs ironing. I don't usually do ironing. So I don't wear things I have to iron. I don't wear very often. That's my favorite part of cosplay, the way people react to seeing their favorite characters in real life. I had someone tackle me once because I was dressed as Ladybug, and they loved the show. Oh, that's really nice. I mean, if I was like, if I was doing it for a job, I could probably do it for a job very easily, because I'm really, even though I don't want children of my own, I'm very good with kids, and I am like a kid. So if I was going around, like, say I was doing it as part of a job, I find that quite fun. Do you know what I mean? Like dressing up, it'd be quite fun. Like if I was doing it as part of a Disney parade or something. I used to be in carnivals. I don't think I've said much about this on here. I used to be in carnivals, so I used to dress up in carnivals. I've been Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, that was, and I had a dog at the time called Peppy who played Toto, was in my basket, and my dad pulled the float, and we had an Iron Man and a lion and stuff like that. And yeah, I had a picture years ago of me with my pigtails, so that was nice. And I've worn a wedding dress, so I don't need to get married because I'm not into marriage at all. But I've worn a black wedding dress. There was a woman called Sheila Thompson, and she used to make wedding dresses for the royal family in the UK, and she had a shop, a wedding boutique in Dawlish. And when it came to Dawlish wedding time, there was me and two girls. The two girls were in white wedding dresses. I wore a black wedding dress with white roses. Thanks for the thumbs up. And yeah, it was amazing. Like, I wore a black wedding dress, and it was beautiful because it's like I've got to be a bride now. Because obviously, from the I'm a huge romantic person, right? So from the romance side of things, yes, marriage really appeals to me because it's like, oh, so romantic. Spend the rest of your life with one person, cuddling up, kissing, being happily ever after, having that security is so wonderful. But I've learned in my life that it's not really like that at all. I have been engaged before, but I've never been married. I don't want to. So I like the romantic side of things. I like the idea of it, theoretically, from a romance point of view. But I love the fact I've been in a wedding dress because I don't need to get married now. I've like a lot of women, girls, whatever you want to say, they want to kind of like have the wedding. You know, it's kind of a big thing that they dream about since being a kid for a lot of women, not all women, you know. And I used to be a marriage type of person, so I used to think like that, right? But the fact I've actually worn a wedding dress and I got to spend quite a bit of time in it, and I look really beautiful in it, actually black and with white roses, really unusual, and it just felt so great. I'm like, well, I've done the wedding thing now, right? I haven't actually got married, but I've worn the dress. Felt amazing. Loads of people saw me in it, and I don't need to do that again. I've actually done that. So if I never get married, it don't matter because I've had that experience. It was a nice experience. I have a friend who runs a princess charity organisation. I should probably head out. I'm getting a pretty bad headache. Oh right, yes. Let's call it an oh right, okay, Michaela, Sam's on now. As Michaela says they're about to go, Sam comes on. Yes, Michaela, go and get some rest. Lots of love to you. Go and get some rest. I've been on here for like nearly 2 hours. So I probably need to go in a bit anyway. But yes, get better soon. All the best. Love you lots. Big hugs. Sam, it was awesome when I went to Star Trek convention in Birmingham and saw so many Starfleet officers and aliens. It was like being at a spaceport or starbase somewhere. See, even though I mean, I do like Star Trek to a certain extent. So, you know, I probably would, I mean, I'm not really into it like you and Andy are, but I probably would be interested. I probably like the atmosphere. You know, like what I liked at Disneyland Paris was actually Star Wars. I know Star Wars is kind of different to Star Trek, but they had obviously Darth Vader, someone dressed up as Darth Vader did the show. So I loved the actual show with all the, you know, with Darth Vader, the black Darth Vader and all the other ones. I mean, that was incredible. I love going to theme parks because I like being in the kind of movie scene. So yeah, but it does sound amazing, Sam. I'm so glad you had that experience. I'd love to go back to Disneyland Paris again because I just love it so much. It's just like where my heart is, my soul. We're gonna go there one day. Be great. It's nice to see you. Yeah, so I'm really glad you went there. I think the Star Trek convention Birmingham looked awesome. Even I thought it looked good, you know. Like I can imagine how wonderful it was, you know. I think it's really good. I mean, I have watched, you know, I used to watch Star Trek quite a bit on TV, and I've seen some of the films. I went to the cinema and saw one of the new ones. It was fab. I have a picture of me with a Klingon, and also me on the Enterprise bridge, captain's chair. Yeah, you look really good in the captain's chair. I have to say, you were born to be on that captain chair. I'm like, yes, Sam was born to be on their space era. Do you know what I mean? Captain. Where do I fit in? You know, you looked amazing. I thought, wow. And the suit really suited you. Even Andy looked good in his suit as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, you look so cool. Really, really good. I was really pleased. I looked at the picture. I'm like, wow, it looks incredible. Born to be on your space era. It looks so good. I'm so pleased for you. But yeah, I can imagine that's really good. You know, like even I know Andy saw some stuff where he lives in Weston-super-Mare, didn't he? Which was another Star. I think was that Star Wars? I think it was Star Wars, wasn't it? Rather than Star Trek when he was in it around his home way. But anyway, that looked really good as well. But yeah, it was fab, and I wouldn't have gone had it not been for your meetups and meeting Andy. Yeah, I suggested you two go, didn't I? Because I remember I introduced you. Yeah, that was Star Wars and Western Premiere. Yeah, I purposely knew because I knew Andy before I knew Andy before you knew Andy, and I knew you before you knew Andy. I knew both of you before you knew each other, and I knew that you both liked Star Trek. So that's why I brought it up and said, "Oh, I think I said to Andy that Sam's interested in Star Trek and thinking about going to a convention." And then that's when you two started talking because I wanted you two to go together because I thought that was Star Wars. And now Andy's one of my best friends too. Yeah. So that's why I introduced you two to each other because I wanted you to I thought that you would go together. And that's what I was trying to like suggest. So yeah, it's good. It's really good. I hope you get to see them on the 5th as well because I know Andy's been poorly. They're getting better, but obviously there's there's things about the virus, isn't there? But hopefully it should all be fine. And Andy should be better by then anyway. So yeah, it's incredible. And I think this is what you have to focus on in times like these as well, like your passions, your joy, your happiness, things you love to do. Like I love Disney, I love movies. I'm gonna watch a movie tonight, I've decided, and I'm gonna have nice popcorn. Yeah, we still have to see how things go with the 5th. Yeah. So yeah. But I bought like from my local store Aldi supermarket in the UK, I bought a packet of 3 salted popcorn for 99p. Starbright. Is it Starbright or Starright? I think it's our own brand. Anyway, I thought, yes. So I've got lots of work to do, but because I've only had 2 hours sleep and I'm feeling like I have worked quite a bit recently, I'm thinking tonight I am just going to chill out with a movie. I'm going to have some popcorn in the middle of the night and I'm going to go and get nice sleep. I'm doing loads of my Star Trek project at the moment. Oh, that's really cool, Sam. Yeah, good plan. Like I have stuff to do with my Asexual Guide to Sex book. I have stuff to do for my challenge. But I know I have to look after my own health, and I know that I'm starting to need a bit of like. I mean, I'm raring to go in the one sense, but I'm thinking, Sandra, I can feel it in you. You need to chill out, watch a movie for a few hours, have some nice popcorn. It'll make you feel great, and watch a movie. The thing is, I keep watching the same movies over and over again because I kind of like them. You've just watched that. I'm like, well, I want to watch it again. You know what I mean? Because I just think that like my Asexual Guide to Sex book I'm currently working on, and I have got a challenge, but I'm like, you need sometimes you need rest. I'm going to watch some Star Trek after your stream. Oh, this is good. Yeah, I'll come to the conclusion of my stream in a minute. Anyway, I'm like that with some films, laugh out loud. Yeah, I kind of like it's when I watched Jurassic Park the other day with popcorn. I'm like, oh, I want to do it again, especially with popcorn. Something about watching Jurassic Park with popcorn. I'm like, you've only just watched it, Sandra. I'm like, yeah, but I really liked it. The Lost World one. There's Lost World. Well, the one I talked about last time, that one. So yeah, I just think it's really good, and I think like in times like these, we need to be making sure we're topping up on like although I love my work dearly, I know that I've done a lot and I know I've got a lot to do, and sometimes my head gets a bit like I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, blah 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 blah, and it's kind of like sometimes I just need a bit of time out to chill, to calm my mind, and then think, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it can kind of give me some relaxation and boosting time because I need to keep my immune system healthy at the moment. I'm aware of my inner being. Like my mind's like, oh, but you want to do this, the Asexual Guide to Sex, but you need to reply to it and you need to get on the challenge because you're behind with it, and this is how I am in my mind. And I'm like, yes, but your inner child, Sandra, what is it telling you? It's telling you need some time out. You've done a lot of hours this week. You haven't been sleeping. You haven't been sleeping for nights. You've just been sleeping in the days. Last night you had 2 hours sleep, and if you don't rest, your immune system could get lower. So which are you going to do? You're going to boost your immune system back up by chilling the heck out. Sometimes you've got to take a break and rest your brain. Resting your brain helps with your body too. And that's what I think, I juggle between the fact I'm a bit harsh on myself, thinking, well, you need to, do this, that, and the other, and actually thinking, well, especially with the virus, I've got to be doing what's best for me. And I know really I need to chill out with the movie tonight. My body's wanting it, my brain's wanting it. And I think the most important things in time like these is to do whatever you know in your deep soul and your intuition that you have to do. And if that's watching a movie or two or whatever you need to do, you got to go off and do it, because then you come back more refreshed, I think, and more productive, because my brain does start going like boom, 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 like firing off cylinders. And when you fire off all cylinders, it can have an explosive effect, and then that has a effect in the body. And I know that I have been pushing myself a lot, particularly last night, pushing myself a heck of a lot to do this, that, and the other. And the only thing, I couldn't focus on the challenge thing tonight, because that's just, I need to proper, tomorrow I'm going to be doing, like, going through loads of videos. I've only done one video and I've got 5 to do. So I kind of thought, well, you can go through them in the day, like watch them all together, do all the downloads, then work through it once you've seen the whole picture. That might be quite a good idea to do tomorrow. And then, the Asexual Guide to Sex book, I'm working on one particular paragraph, like question at a time at the moment, because I said that's what's best to do. We'll take a question at a time, because it means like the person's given me more answer and I have to amalgamate with their current answer. So it takes more work and manipulation of the paragraphs and interweaving. So I said, we'll do one paragraph at a time because I'm quite busy at the moment, and that's how we can get it done. I've only got 4 paragraphs. One's been done. Second one we're working on is nearly like complete. It's just the end bit we've got to sort out, and there's 2 more, and then we should be done on that person's, Yeah, sometimes I find if I take a short break and rest, I'm more productive and refreshed afterwards. That's what I think too, Sam. So yeah, I'm going to go off and do that, I think. Yeah, I can see how there can be a lot of work to get each person's story done. Yeah. I mean, at the moment, I'm going through this, like, I've got 2 story time. I've got this one, which is Alice's, which is, like, this is pretty much nearly done. I've just got to read through it a couple more times. But this person here, this is a hardcore story. So it's really good though. I mean, everyone should read Alice's, but it does take some digesting bits of it. It is a bit where you probably got to have a bit of a break. But I've been rereading. I have reread it. I think I've read it 3 times at the moment. I mean, I've read it quite a bit, but since I've actually printed it off, I think I've read it 2 or 3 times, definitely a couple of times. I think I'm on the 3rd read-through now, because I like to do a lot of read-throughs, keep reading through it to making sure it's okay. So that's neat done. And then I'm working on JG's at the same time. JG's is one that actually needs a bit more editing, whereas this is pretty much done. But I'm just checking it for spelling, grammar, or punctuation, the little tiny bits, which I think is pretty much done. So I've kind of got those 2 going on, but this one, is not, I can do this one anytime, finish this one off, but but JG's is one I'm working on with them backwards and forwards at the moment, so by email. But I've got the challenge to do as well, that I'm doing this course challenge. It's a chat. When I say challenge, there's a challenge I'm doing for my other business. And then it requires watching videos and doing downloads. So it's like a mini course, but it's actually on Facebook. So I've got to be on Facebook to do it as well. But yeah, it is a lot of work to get the Asexual Guide to Sex book finished. But I mean, lots of people have pretty much finished their stories now. The majority, not all. But I want to get them done so I can get on with my bit. But I still, like I was saying to Michaela, I thought about writing a book on coronavirus, actually, body, mind, and soul type thing. But there's loads of people that have written books on coronavirus. But I actually wrote stuff out the other day for what I like to put in the book, like a holistic approach to helping to prevent coronavirus, by boosting the immune system and by keeping the immune system high, using a lot of holistic stuff. I mean, a lot of it's in this book anyway, but like I was saying to Michaela, a lot of people don't, they see fibromyalgia and they're like, I haven't got fibromyalgia, so the book doesn't isn't for me. But actually a lot of the stuff I do to help boost my immune system's in this book. But I thought maybe I should write one. I did just write like loads of like notes about what I want to include in the book, but then that would be diverting from what I've got to do. But I might be able, it'd be a short book. It wouldn't be a long book like my other ones. But I say that, but what I'm like, I don't really speak very short, do I? But I don't know. But I did write loads of stuff I'd like to include in it because I think I could help people, I just think there's stuff that people aren't doing that could be helping them. So, but I don't know. Because there's loads of books. People have written loads of books all over Amazon about it. So, but a lot of them have just grabbed stuff off different news and they've just put it in the book. It's not really creating a book and helping people, is it? It's just like sticking a price on something that's already out there. Whereas with this, it's more like how I manage my mind, body, and soul to cope in these type of times. But yeah, so I did do a creative explosion splurge, so I have got, you know, stuff I could write about. But again, I've got so much to do. I wouldn't want to divert myself too much, but it's kind of something I kind of think I should be doing. So yeah, I don't know about that, but you know, I think it's just good to stay positive, get some rest, do what makes you happy, feel good, and keep on with projects. I think it's really good. Like, I'm glad I'm really busy at the moment. I'm glad I'm busy. Yeah, there's a difference between putting thought and that into a book and just copying and pasting information. Exactly. If I did a book about coronavirus, it'd literally be a holistic point of view, like what foods you should be eating to boost the immune system, what sort of mindset you need to be having, you know, like how to lower your anxiety, that type of thing. Yeah, I have so much to keep me busy at the moment. Yeah, it's really good, Sam. It's really good. And that's what I said, you know, like on these videos, you must be keeping your mind busy as possible. You know, I'm so busy at the moment. I don't have time to think. I don't have time to bloom and eat sometimes. So go to Lou. I'm like, you need to go toilet, Sandra. You know, I'm like, oh, okay then. You know, and I think it's really good. The best thing to do in these case of these virus thing that's happening at the moment, you know, is to just keep yourself busy in the home, do stuff around the home, keep yourself buried in projects. I mean, I've got so much to do at the moment. Like, you know, I believe everything happens for a reason, like I was saying earlier. And, you know, it gives me more time to spend indoors focusing on my projects that I need to get done anyway. It makes me pay more attention to them, makes me do them more. Do you know what I mean? Less going out, more staying in means more work done, theoretically, so long as I give myself a break. Because if I don't, then I'll go kind of crazy. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to love you and leave you for now. It's been lovely to have you here, Sam. But I know you want to get on and watch Star Trekking across the universe, calling social enterprise and the Captain Kirk. So I like that song. I don't usually sing it. I'm not a great singer, but never mind. I do like Star Trekking song. It's really good. I love Star Trekking song. Do you have Star Trekking song? I should have asked you that before I go. I love the Star Trek song. Yes. I used to like Spitting Images chicken song as well, but that's going complete on another topic. Laugh out loud. I love the Star Trek song. So cool. Anyway, I think we should both go and watch our favourite shows or films, and I would love seeing you on the next live stream or anything. Thanks for being my best friend. You're awesome. And I'm glad to see that you're keeping busy, doing your projects, doing your Star Trek stuff. It's so good. Really proud of you. And thanks, Sam, for watching. And to anyone else who's watching, thank you. I know there's been someone else watching the whole time nearly, but they're being very quiet about who they are. So lots of love to whoever's been watching this show the whole time. I got someone as well saying a comment that they watch a lot of my videos and they really like my personality, really love my personality, they said. So I thought that was really nice. Have a great evening and catch you tomorrow, later today. Yeah, later today. Anyway, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed, and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. If you want the links to my books, they are down below in the description. I'll see you on the next video live stream. Bye, Sam, and obviously Michaela, who's on earlier. Bye. Lots of love. Take care. Embrace your quirky on each other's. Enjoy Star Trek and your projects. Bye.